So think about your brain right now. It's performing trillions upon trillions of calculations without you even thinking. See that right there? You just did trillions of calculations in your head. We aren't just building computers anymore. We're trying to rebuild the human brain inside of them. Today, I will talk about the expanding field of neural networks. So according to Alexander Robinson, on April 21st, 2026, in his article, Neural Network, the Foundation of Artificial Intelligence, these systems have moved from experimental code to the very foundation of our modern-day civilization. In my presentation, I will talk about their biological inspiration. Secondly, I will talk about how they function. And lastly, I will discuss their modern applications. So, what is the biological inspiration behind artificial neural networks? This comes in a trio. Firstly, we have dendrites. They catch the chemical signals from other cells. Secondly, we have the soma, which is the cell body. If you compare this to a computer, this is the processor. It will solve all the signals. If the signal is strong enough, it will break a certain threshold and it will fire the neural system. Lastly, we have the axon. This is the transmitter. This is essentially a long cable that sends the electrical spark to the next neuron. So how do we apply this in a computer setting? Applying this in a computer setting was titled the digital mirror. In a computer, we replace chemicals with numbers and importance with weights. As stated in Frontiers in Neuroscience on December 12, 2024, this neural-inspired intelligence is designed to mimic the brain's plasticity, or you can think about it as the brain's flexibility, which is the ability to actually change its own structure as it learns. Now that we understand their biological roots, we can talk about and look at how these neural networks actually work. So, the main system and mechanism of neural networks. This also comes in a trio. The architecture consists of the input layer, where the data starts and its input, obviously, such as the pixels of an image. If I take a picture of this man right here, it'll come out as pixels to the computer. Then we have the hidden layer, where the math happens. It calculates everything in the picture just from pixels. It calculates the edges, the objects, and then the shapes. And lastly, the third layer, we have the output layer. This is where the computer takes its final guess. It'll guess from all the math in the pixels. For example, this is a picture of a dog, according to what it sees. Mathematically, of course. But now, what if it makes a mistake? How does it learn? This system is called backpropagation. The mistake, if an output is wrong, it'll send out an error, and it'll send the signal back up in the reverse way, up the three layers, and it'll wiggle the weights around. This wiggling of the weights is called corrections. It'll reduce the error for the next time or completely eliminate it. So according to IBM, on January 15th, 2024, backpropagation is the fundamental algorithm that allows a machine to learn and change without a human rewriting its code. Furthermore, Richard Sutton, in his 2024 paper, The Bitter Lesson, explains that the most powerful and smartest AI isn't the one with the most rules, but the one that uses the most computation to run these learning cycles. And we can see this in modern day applications today. We have Gemini, we have ChatGPT, other AI models. There's intelligence and their strength is based entirely off of how much compute they have, not about the rules which they are given. So, with a basic understanding of how they function, I can explain how they're being applied to today's technology. So, what are the practical applications of neural networks in modern technology? We have something that we all recognize, it's facial recognition. It's in our phones, our iPads, our laptops, and a bunch of government security systems, as well as other companies use them as well. It'll turn your face into a unique mathematical map. It measures the distance between your eyes, between your nose, between your mouth, and other facial features. And it'll use specialized neural layers to calculate the distance, and that's how it'll judge if the correct person is behind the camera or not. So, according to the Amazon Web Services, in August 8th, 2023, Neural networks are the primary drivers behind voice assistants and real-time translations tools that we use today. Another use is spatial and environmental data. As reported by the Spatial Information Research on November 18th, 2022, these networks are now being used to analyze satellite data up there to predict urban growth and help manage environmental resources. So we can use data from satellites in order to judge how fast a city will grow, how many resources it will use, as well as other very important data for cities to function. Neural networks play a large role in technology and in the future. In my presentation, I discussed the expanding field of neural networks. I touched upon this subject by discussing the biological inspiration first. Secondly, I talked about how neural networks function and work, their mechanism, their architecture. And lastly, I discussed how these neural networks are being used today and how their uses can function for future technology of our civilization. We used to think of computers as old, cold, and often just plain responses, typing in numbers, getting numbers back. The computer wouldn't learn. You would give it an input, it would give you a basic output. But now, by copying the biology of our own brains, we've created a technology just like us, where we were toddlers and we grew up, we learned a bunch, we adapted. It's just like that. It doesn't just calculate. It learns, it adapts, and it grows just like us. Thank you.